All smartphones are getting ridiculously more expensive. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is going to cost $14.99. The S27 Ultra, $13.99. And the Pixel 11 Pro XL, $12.99. Why? Every flagship phone is basically built around one incredibly advanced processor. The problem? Those chips are becoming absurdly expensive to make. Every time the industry shrinks from something like 3 nanometers to 2 nanometers, the engineering challenge becomes dramatically harder. Factories cost more, the machines become expensive, production gets slower, and the number of perfect chips produced often decreases. So right from the beginning, flagship phones start with a higher price tag than they did just a few years ago. But that's only one piece of the puzzle. Here's something that changed the entire market: foldables. Now having foldables starting at $18.99 or $2,000 and even more than that, customers slowly got used to seeing those numbers. So today, a $13.99 flagship almost feels normal. That's called price anchoring. Once people repeatedly see products around $2,000, everything below that suddenly feels like a better deal, even though it's still incredibly expensive. But hardware isn't the only thing getting expensive. AI is quietly increasing the cost of smartphones too, with every company now racing to advertise AI features like photo editing, live translation, writing tools, voice assistants, and image generation. But running AI directly on your phone isn't free. It requires faster processors, more RAM, more storage, and better cooling systems. Even if you never touch those AI features, you're still paying for the hardware needed to run them. And then there's something happening outside the tech world. Over the past few years, smartphone companies have been trying to move production away from relying on a single country. That means opening factories in places like India and Vietnam while still maintaining existing production elsewhere. On paper, it sounds simple, but in reality, building new factories, training thousands of workers, creating new supply chains, testing quality control, all of that costs billions. And companies don't absorb those costs forever. Eventually, some of that gets passed on to us. But the biggest reason smartphones are getting more expensive has nothing to do with technology. It's us. 10 years ago, people often upgraded their phones pretty much every single year. But now people tend to keep their phones for 2 to 3 to 5 years, since phones now can just handle that. And don't get me wrong, that is great for consumers, but also terrible for companies. See, if people buy half as many phones, manufacturers have two options: sell more phones or make more money every time they sell one. Guess which option is easier? Exactly. So when you hear that your next phone could cost $1,500 or even $2,000, it's not necessarily because smartphone companies have become greedy overnight. It's because several trends have been building for years: more expensive chips, AI hardware, longer upgrade cycles, and companies realizing that enough people are still willing to buy premium phones. The bigger question now isn't whether phones will hit $2,000. It's whether consumers finally decide that the phones actually became expensive. Because if enough people stop buying, then the industry has no choice than to change. But until that happens, don't expect flagship prices to come down anytime soon.